Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing my editing tutorial and also how I make my thumbnails, so those two in one. And I asked you guys on Instagram what you wanted to see before the New Year's resolution goals kind of video or this video, and you guys voted for this by 59%, so we're gonna roll with this. My hair looks a bit weird right now, but ignore that because I'll only be doing a voiceover for this video and I'm kind of showing you guys what I actually do. And yeah, I hope it really helps you guys. I will be sharing everything I use within my editing tools and thumbnail editing tools. So yeah, let's get into it. Here you can see my home screen. There's really nothing much on my iPad as I am on it right now. And when I'm editing anything really, I'm usually on my iPad. Rarely I'll go on my phone, but anyway, let's go on to InShot. So right now they are having like this little Christmas version, and I already made a draft, so let's just go into that. So this is the video that we'll be editing for today, and this is my the video on introductions part 2. So I wanted to show you guys how I edit this, and I'll just kind of introduce you to this place, I guess. I love InShot, by the way. It's a really great place to edit. And I'll show you guys what I do for each step along the way as I actually go and edit it. Because if I introduce every single feature, it's probably going to take a while. And usually I don't use every single feature. Okay, let's begin. I might be just not talking for some parts just because it's pretty self-explanatory or repetitive. Hello. So I'm just going to cut this part. And you can use the split feature to do this. Just go back, or you can drag it to make it shorter. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. And in today's video, oh, and I usually drag the sound up so that it can be louder. And what I also do sometimes is make it lighter if I feel necessary. Like right now it's pretty bright, so maybe we'll just do like 6. Just makes it a bit more vibrant. Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing the part 2 of filming an introduction video, and in this video, I'm actually going to be sharing what you should include. So, if you haven't watched part 1 already, I will leave it in the description box, and and then here would be a good time to put in like a picture of part 1 so that people can go on to it. So here, I'll just pop that on here. And what I usually do is use this blur feature so that it blurs in and out. Part 1 already, I will leave it in the description box, and it will help a lot for gaining an idea of what to include in an introduction, but this video will be the more useful one, so maybe you can start with this one. It doesn't really matter. So let's get started. Then I touch my hair a lot because bangs were really making me mad. There's literally bangs in my face. I was also looking down on my computer screen, so you want to cut all of that. So let's get started. Okay, so I'll be going in order. Let's get started. So I'll be going in order. So let's get started. So I'll be going in order of what you should include, and the first thing you should include is a basic introduction. So what you should include is just like your name, age, maybe your... So what you should... Just stop there. Include is just like your name, age, introduction. Is a basic introduction. So what you should add is introduction. So what you should include is a basic introduction. So what you should add is a basic introduction. So what you should add is just say hello and then your name and then your age. So if you are on the older side, maybe you don't want to include this because it might not be like an ideal thing. If you want, you don't have to include your age, that's totally fine. But if you are on the younger side, then maybe you do want to add it, then that's also totally fine. It's really up to you on what you want to add and what you don't want to add. So for videos like this, honestly, it's very repetitive. I just do the same thing where I split the little pauses and make it more smooth. And what you don't want to add. And then you could also add. And then you add. And then you could also include your ethnicity and nationality. But about like your personal information, that should really be it, and it should be super short, and just say it quickly. Just say it quickly. And just say it quickly. And then you can jump into what's special about yourself. So I did write some notes, so I am going to be looking at them throughout this video. So you could say the style of the company is this video. Them throughout this video. So you can firstly include them throughout this video. So you can firstly include some talents that you have. So maybe you do taekwondo and you've been doing this for, so maybe you do like maybe you so maybe that you have. So maybe some talents that you have. So maybe you do that you have. So maybe you do like taekwondo and you've been doing this for years. And that's something. Oops. I lost control of my iPad. That you have. So maybe you do like taekwondo and you've been doing this for years. And that's something you want to include because it's kind of about like physical activities, and dancing is a part of that. So it kind of connects to one another. Did I touch my bangs again? My god. Literally, guys, trust me when I say don't get bangs. Why is there hair all over my face? That's kind of the point of bangs, but still. Kind of connects to one another. Maybe you do figure skating. Maybe you do figure skating. Maybe you next to one another. Maybe you do figure skating. Maybe you play an instrument like the guitar. Something like that you want to share, especially if you've been doing it for a long time, then even more better. More better. Even more better. If you can't do it well, then don't include it, obviously. If they were to ask you, hey, then can you do like a backflip on the spot right now? Then you'd be... Sorry guys, I opened TikTok. Then even more better. If you can't do it well, then don't include it, obviously. If they were to ask you, hey, then can you do like a backflip on the spot right now? Then you should be able to do it, basically. That kind of proficiency is where you should actually include it. If not, I don't recommend you add it because it's gonna be long, you know? Like, we know what you can barely borderline do, you know? You wanna include what you can actually be proficient at. Be proficient at. So next is like hobbies. So if you just say singing and dancing, that's not going to grab the judge's attention. I bet thousands of people, not even thousands, millions of people have their hobby as dancing and singing when they want to become a K-pop idol. But what can you make that different about yourself? Maybe you do street dancing, maybe you do popping, locking, whatever that is. You want to make it more specific to yourself and make it different from others. And make it different from others. Sorry guys, I'm still sort of sick. Make it different from others. And to be honest, not all of these things that I mentioned have to be in order. You can change them around just suiting to your liking, I guess, and whatever flow makes it better. So the next thing you should include, or you want to include, is why you want to become an idol. Is why you want to become an idol. You want to become an idol. So this can go wrong if you don't do it the right way. So you need to make sure that you actually do it the right way and make it actually enticing. So include a short story if you need to, like how you discovered K-pop, when was the moment that you actually realized you wanted to become an idol. When was the exact moment that you actually realized When was the moment? Like how you discovered K-pop. When was the exact moment that you wanted to become an idol? If you don't remember these things or you don't really have like a specific interesting moment, then you don't need to include it. Don't need to include it. Why this can don't need to include it. So why this can go wrong is because you'll just sound very repetitive from others. So how many times do you think judges have heard, oh, I saw my favorite K-pop idol on stage and thought that was cool and then decided to audition? Like that's not good enough to grab the judge's attention. So I could really just sit here and say everything you need to list out for your audition introduction video. But that's not really what I'm here to teach you guys. But that's not really why I'm here. That's not teach you guys. But that's not really what I introduction video. Audition introduction video. But that's not really why I'm here. Introduction video. But that's not really why I'm here, guys. I'm here to actually make your audition video stand out from others, make you different, and actually pass the audition. Because something interesting and something uninteresting can really make or break it. Even if you have tons of talent, if you're just kind of like meh and don't really stand out, that's not really going to help you pass your audition. To help you pass your audition. And one more thing to note, being really going to help you pass your audition. And one more thing to note, being specific is not telling the judges which artist and which stage on what day it was, you know? That's not really what I'm saying here. It doesn't really matter what the artist was or who it was, and that's not really what you should look in terms of specificness, but actually like what about that really captured your attention, why you wanted to become an idol at that exact moment, things like that. And so an alternative to this, or one more thing you could add, is why you want to specifically audition for this company. So what about them makes them different from other? So what about them makes specifically audition for this company stand out? That's not really going to help you pass your audition. And one more thing to note, you pass your audition. And one more for this company. So when you're talking about this, you have to make it, so when you're talking about for this company. So when you're talking about this, you have to make sure, like, this company, like, let's say you're only auditioning for so specifically audition for this company. So when you're mentioning this, you actually want to make it sound like you're only auditioning for this specific company. So when you're mentioning this, you... How many times am I saying that? Gosh. Audition for this company. So when you're mentioning this, you want audition for this company. So when you're mentioning this, you want to make it seem like you're only auditioning for this company. So let's say you're just going for the big three, SM, JYP, and YG. When you audition for SM, when you and YG. When you audition for and YG. When you audition for SM, JYP, and YG. When you audition for SM, you want to make it sound like you're only auditioning for SM because of their style and their uniqueness and things like that. You could flatter them all you want and say the good things about this specific company, but make sure it's not too try hard and too, like, cringy, I guess. Like, cringy, I guess. And another question that I often got was about languages and what kind of things you should include in terms of sharing how many languages you're proficient at. Is you're proficient at. So, oops. How many languages you're proficient at. So someone actually proficient at. So someone actually asked if you should say hello in the languages, like every single language you know. That's a no. Please don't do that. It's a waste of time and they really aren't going to sit through the entirety of that, so don't really include that. But you can list out the languages that you are actually fluent in. So if you were to hold a conversation with someone in a specific language and you can actually do it well, then that's kind of like the languages you want to include. If you just kind of know phrases, things like that, you want to include that. You don't want to include that. And if you're you don't want to include that. And if you're uncomfortable, you don't want to include that. And if you're unconfident about a specific language ability, then don't include it. And for Korean, if you're actually fluent in it, then you want to mention that you're fluent in it. But let's say you're just still learning and you're not pretty good, like you're still beginner level, then maybe don't include it. If you're just kind of on the intermediate level where you can kind of understand Korean, then that's really up to you if you want to include it or not, because the judges may ask you to do an introduction in Korean, which is why the next video is coming. Yeah. That's soon though. That's later. Soon though. That's later. And also don't make it sound too important that you speak this many languages. A lot of people can cool a lot of languages. Many languages. A lot of people can speak multiple languages, but what they're mainly looking for is people who can speak English mainly. So what they're really so really looking for is but what multiple languages. A lot of people can speak multiple languages. So what they're multiple languages. So what multiple languages. So what they're really looking for is people who can speak Korean and English. Those two are the most important languages when it comes to K-pop, obviously. But some helpful ones would be Chinese and Japanese, because sometimes they do promote their songs on their like in their countries. So that would also be beneficial. But otherwise, the other languages you list won't be too important to them. So just ensure that. Ensure that. And and another thing for that. Ensure that. Ensure that. And another thing you can add is your experience within the K-pop idol life or just in general. So let's say you've received some dancing and singing lessons before. That's something you want to include if you think it's significant enough. If you've done it for like quite a bit of time, like 5 years, then you definitely want to include that. If you've only done that for like a few months, maybe don't mention it. Maybe don't mention it. Maybe don't mention it. And other maybe don't mention it. And other things you can add is like if you were in like a street dancer group, then you want to add that. If you're just in your school choir, that is somewhat weak, so maybe don't include those. But anything significant more than that, like school wise, that's not really something you want to include. Like awards too. School awards are not really good enough. Good enough. Really good enough. So previous really good enough. So previous training within company is definitely worth mentioning. And if you've passed any other auditions in the past, so let's say you've only passed the first few rounds of an audition and then you were just eliminated from that, then you don't want to include that. But if you've actually made it to the final round of a specific audition at a specific company, then mention their name, especially if they're big, then that's definitely a plus. But if you've only passed the first round, don't include it. Tons of people have before. Tons of people have before. And again, people have before. And again, people have before. And again, awards that are related to singing. And again, and people have before. And again, people have before. Again, awards that are related to singing and dancing, rapping, whatever you want, but make sure it's actually significant, so school awards do not really count. Really count. And another question I got was related to your hard-working skills, I guess. Like, should you include that you're a hard worker and you're really dedicated to your goal and you have passion for this? I mean, yes, it's always nice to always include, it's, I mean, yes, it's passion for this. I mean, yes, it's always nice to include that, but the thing is, it can sound really repetitive and nothing special, because anyone can really say that they can do hard work. It's about showing them that you can actually put in the hard work. So I don't really recommend adding this unless you can actually make it into like fancy words and make it sound actually enticing. Yeah. Yeah. And your goal is to make this actually sound, yeah, enticing, enticing, and enticing, and your goal is to make this actually sound believable to them and actually genuine. Genuinity is actually really important, and make sure you actually sound like you're passionate to become a K-pop idol, not just because you want to see, just BTS, Blackpink. That's not a good reason. There's still comments that say that, by the way. Anyway, comments that say that, by the way. Okay, perfect time to mention one of my favorite effects. Not filter, effects. And that is the slow zoom filter. Anyway, that was it for this video. Okay, so you just add it on. Anyway, say that, by the way. Anyway, that was it for the comments that say that, by the way. Anyway, that was it for this video, guys. I hope it helped you guys. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, but I couldn't really get to it because it was hard. Like, I literally, cranked this out at 2 a.m. writing the script for this. 5 pages. Well, anyway, that's including the Korean part. That's also coming, guys. If you guys made it until here, then make sure to comment down this. Guys, look at me not forgetting the emoji. Let's see, what emoji shall we do? The thing is, I can't use all of these emojis because some of them are like the newer ones, and because of that, it's difficult to have everyone be able to comment it. Let's see. I've used a lot of these already. I don't know. What should I do? Let's do some nice notebooks. Yeah. And then we're also going to add that little fade in feature. Then make sure to comment down this emoji. The Korean part will be coming, and I will be teaching you guys what to include and actually pronunciation too. So it might be part 2 because it is quite a lengthy video. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for coming. Bye. Okay, and then we're going to add my outro. I don't want to show you guys my camera roll, so I'll just cut to actually having the outro. And the only reason why I don't want to show my camera roll is because it's going to spoil future videos. And make that a bit quieter. Bye. Okay, and that's it. This was a pretty simple video to edit. There's really nothing much, no super cool transitions, nothing like that. So what I do is just click that on the top right, and then I click saved. But one thing I did want to mention is the resolution. If you make it less, then it's going to be less storage. But the general basis is 1080p. Then I just download it, and it should just be loading. So from my pictures that I chose, just little random pictures that I planned for my thumbnails, I was deciding between these two, but I like this one better, so that's what we're going to work with. So firstly, let's go back on InShot and go to photos, and I'm just going to be clicking onto the picture that I want. Okay, so right now it is in this mode where it's like Instagram mode, but we want it to be this way, and just splice it so that hello? Oh. Like that. And then we're just gonna download it. And what I do on here is I use the blur filter. I don't know why, but they have the best filter for blurring, or not filter, like I guess what you need to do. And I take out my pen and I just kind of, oops, my God, so many mistakes. Let's go back. So I blur out the background. So what I'm going to be doing is, oh my God, why is this not working? Let's go, sorry. Okay. And there are some mistakes that the pre-made thing makes, obviously, because it's not just digitalized. And then it has some of my hair, so we're just gonna unblur that out. And there will be parts where it's not blurred, but we want to blur it, so like the little door part. Oops. When I'm editing like vlogs and things where like other people feature in my videos and I have to edit them for the thumbnail, it's a little awkward. But when it's like my face, I'm fine with it. Clearly, I am not good at this. Okay, I don't know why it's so bad today. Okay. And then save. So that is kind of like the before and after, and we're just going to save it. Save. Okay. Next, we're going to go on to Fonto. So just click photo albums and then import your image. And the last video, I named it Audition Introductions. But this time I wanted like maybe we can make it like everything and then space to include. This is my least favorite part. I hate adding text. No. I'm just going to increase the size of this. We're going to add the shadow so that the text stands out a bit more. And then we're also going to curve it a bit. I don't know, the curve makes it a bit more special. For this, let's also add the little shadow. And the spacing, we're going to make it a bit smaller. Like that. Wait, let's see my past thumbnail and see how that compares. I think for this thumbnail, it's just going to be something super simple. The last one I had like little questions floating around, but I don't know what else to add. Everything to include. Should I capitalize it? Would that just look weird? Let's try it. Thumbnail making is really just about experimenting. Actually, I kind of like that better. It's just about what grabs the viewer's attention the best and just going with that. And sometimes really hard because you don't know what's going to capture the viewer's attention because you're not the viewer, you're whoever made the video. So, yeah. I think that's just it. And okay, an ad. We're gonna go back on InShot. What the frick are these ads? Oh my goodness gracious. Just turn my Wi-Fi off. Okay. And then we're going to make it into that. And then I usually just do -10 and then put the background on so that it fits my signature style. Oh my god, this ad, it's creeping me out. So after that, I just airdrop it to my laptop and then I make the video onto YouTube. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. It's super simple. Like, I really like keeping it minimalistic. I'm sure you guys can tell within my editing style with my other channel, but I like to keep things too simple, nothing too crazy or artistic. I don't have that ability either. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!